Okay, abusia. Yaba makwa baso so ereba Ghana politics avenue so. Abusia mbonra yensem. Solomon Owusu ababe expose former Akuffo Addo appointees and top NPP gurus no over $750 million bisen bia omkoko boy a oche say NPP mpanyimfo yi awie sika ya echese sika no enka omo enwie anka NDC buy enka washasi create employment and Solomon Owusu nensema all can abusia HSA wa hit NPP phone left, right, center back or say $750 million ya HSA NPP eko bob during omotenwano abusia sesikano NPP for every year momi yanko na yanko kuti ensma eko so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afufron so enter into me and kabi Ghana politics avenue so and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that there are any updates be ever dropping on
and that is why you need to bring the Ghanaian to that level where he or she can compete favorably. And we expect them to do that. Again, their big push is a good thing. You cannot achieve growth in any economy when your road sector is not good. Remember, once again, propaganda governance. We were told in this country that we were doing year of vote 2017, year of vote 2018, year of vote 2019. So by this time, KMG, the reasonable assumption is that most of our major roads in this country would have been done with. But propaganda once again. We went to the African Bank, we borrowed $750 million. Somebody somewhere, sitting somewhere, decided to chop the money. Or where we can.
Oh, come on, Solo.
Somebody sitting somewhere, and I'm very surprised that my brother Richard would deliberately take it out. All of us were aware that the economic indicators were not good. We just have to face reality. Inflation was at 23%. You had your currency wobbling. You had your debt to GDP that had crossed a certain line. So from our GDP perspective, which I have a copy here, we told Ghanaians that to be able to govern this country and govern it well.
This is for your party.
The former party.
Without a plan, you know, if you fail to plan, you'll be planning to fail. And what we have been doing to ourselves as a country is that these two political parties, they always give you a manifesto, and manifestos are only a set of policies, only promises, not backed by any actionable plan. And that is why many a time they come into governance and they fail. We have given this country a plan to rely on. If we tell you that we will achieve a single-digit inflation, we show you how we are going to achieve that. So we had met the president, the current president, and given him this GTP to go through it and then see whatever he thinks would add to his administration. First on the list, as you could see, we are written here, is economics. I mean, the macroeconomic environment. We have said that to be able to engage in any meaningful development, he needed to stabilize the macroeconomic environment. You couldn't plan with an economy where inflation was always on the ascendancy. 23%, 54%, and so on and so forth. So deal with that, bring it to a single-digit figure so that people will know that there is stability. Deal with the issue of the currency fluctuation, the stability of the city. Deal with the debt portfolio, bring it down, reduce government's intervention in terms of borrowing from the market so that the private sector could go in and then engage the banks to be able to expand the economy. Mind you, it is not government that employs. Any country that relies on government to employ most of its citizens is bound to fail. Many a times, successful countries, they create the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive, to engage more people. In this country, government employ not more than 700,000 people, but we have more than 10 million Ghanaians working. What it means is that it is the private sector that is the engine of growth in this economy. So your focus must always and always be on the private sector. That is why, how come we also insisted that the interest rate should come down, and when it comes down, the Bank of Ghana must move a notch further by causing banks to be dedicating some of their profits to businesses without providing collaterals, landed properties. A young man has finished university, he wants to enter into the business field. He goes to bank, they give him the requirement, they say landed property. How is the young man going to get a landed property to secure the facility? So that it is only the Bank of Ghana that can come up with regulations to deal with this. Underlining every budget is what all things being equal. Budget is simply expenditure, revenue and expenditure. Government expects that within the year it is going to mobilize X amount, and out of that will expend Y amount. So if the X does not come, Y does not happen. That is underlying every budget. So the appropriation you have it about 350 billion Ghana cedis. That's not the case. Government says that it intends to mobilize close to 268 billion cedis as revenue for 2025-2026, and intends to expend close to about 269 or so billion. What it means is that if the revenue side does not come, all the lofty ideas, all the projects that has been lined up in the budget can never be materialized. And where are the revenues going to come from? From your foreign exchange, from taxes that we pay here, and also reducing corruption. If we are mobilizing all the revenue and people are stealing the money, how do you achieve this? So
I've not done well with that in terms of corruption. A lot of people believe that there hasn't been any major scandal in 2025.
I keep saying that if you are going to make the MPP the benchmark, you see these people are said, forget about the last 8 years.
The macroeconomic, they have not done anything about.
No, they have done. That's why I said that if you say they have done well, how can I say that 23% inflation as of 2024 and now you are doing 6.3, I will come and sit here and say that the government has not done that. They have done very well in terms of the macroeconomic environment.
Okay.
But that is not enough. It is now for them to ask it to a takeoff and give us that much needed jobs. As my brother was saying, and here again, I don't know. That's why I say we have two set of opposition parties, the responsible opposition parties and the irresponsible ones. Because I heard Kojo Akroma put a figure of 10,000 to the number of people that lost their jobs after the NDC taking over. Now my brother Jeffy is also saying that 36,000. So within the same party, there seems to be conflicting figures. They need to reconcile and give it. But the United Party is doing a meticulous job to come out with the actual numbers and why those people actually needed to leave the public space. Because you see, there's also another side to bloating of public sector employees. We are paying taxes. If you are expending close to 90% of your revenue on emoluments and compensation and interest payment, then you are left with only 10% to engage in capital expenditure. So you don't blow the public sector. And if the government that told us that they had employed 2.3 million, remember, the St0lěn administration told us that they employed 2.3 million Ghanaians. If indeed that was true, how would we be having such a teeming youth unemployment in this country? We have been ruling that last 32 years, these two parties, the MPP and NDC, they have been ruling with propaganda. But you can do that, but the reality of the day is that the person, that young man that finished university, who has been in the house for 4 years, 5 years, who is not having job, none of your propaganda will work on the person. That person needs progressive solutions to deal with his or her problem. So on the economic front, they have done well. What they have to do is to translate the gains that they have made into actuals, into ensuring that there are more jobs so that we do not see those despicable acts that we witnessed in November. One young man said they wanted to be recruited into the Ghana Armed Forces. Out of that, 6 youthful Ghanaians lost their lives. Why do you think that young men will be rushing to be recruited into the military? Because there is no jobs. There is no jobs.
So based on the indications for 2025, do you see that what you're saying happening in 2026?
No, it has to be. If all these figures that we are being given are true figures, then what it means is that there is a correlationship between inflation, exchange rate, and your interest rate. If interest rate comes down substantially, and the banks are not going to do lazy work, and the Bank of Ghana is going to sit on them, they will have no other option than to extend the monies to the private sector. Now here again, if the interest rate has come down to around 20-25, but it is woefully inadequate. We are competing with our neighbors. Togo is doing a policy rate of about 5%, plus 2 minus 2 as your risk profile. You are doing about 7% to businesses. Burkina, that is also being governed by a military person, is doing around the same figure of 5%. Ivory Coast is doing 5%. Nigeria, that we expect our economy to be better than them in terms of management, they are doing less than 13% as their policy rate. So we cannot be hovering around the 20% mark. when indeed we have to be getting it to the single digit. And once we do that, like I said, the Bank of Ghana must intervene. Like they are intervening with their dollar.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong to make sure that loans are actually advanced to Ghanaian businesses. You hear one too many that tiptoe Ghanaians are fighting with our ECOWAS brothers because the Ghanaian is borrowing at a very high rate, because that rate that he's borrowing is out of that money that he's using to go and rent a shop at tiptoe. So he's unable to compete with the West African counterparts. And that is why you need to bring the Ghanaian to that level where he or she can compete favorably. And we expect them to do that. Again, their big push is a good thing. You cannot achieve growth in any economy when your road sector is not good. Remember, once again, propaganda governance. We were told in this country that we were doing year of road 2017, year of road 2018, year of road 2019. So by this time, KMG, the reasonable assumption is that most of our major roads in this country would have been done with. But propaganda once again. We went to the Afrexim Bank, we borrowed $750 million. Somebody somewhere, sitting somewhere, decided to chop the money on where we can.
Oh, come on. Come on, Solo.
Somebody sitting somewhere, and I'm very surprised that my brother Richard would deliberately take it out.
Oh, come on, Solo.
Meanwhile, the two of them, where they started mentioning the name of God. That is why I've been telling you, this business of people referring to God. We have to take a second look at it.
Absolutely.
Afri-Exim 750 million, we could not use it to complete any of the roads. All the major roads leading out of Accra are in a very terrible shape. Accra to Kumasi, not the best of shape. Accra to Takoradi and to Elubo, not the best of shape. Accra to Aflao, not the best. So the year of roads 2017, 2018, 2019, which roads are the roads in space? Or that we were told, KMG, don't forget that a total of close to 12,000 kilometers of road were constructed under the S1 administration. But for purposes of education, 12,000 kilometers of roads is Accra to Shanghai. That is a distance. That's what they told us.
Oh, come on. Come on.
That is a distance, Richard.
So are you telling me that road construction is a linear?
No, that if you...
What are you talking about?
But why? He said, you didn't give me... No, but what is he talking about?
No,
he said, the government said...
Can you make it such a simplistic...
Yes.
I don't think that is...
That's such a simplistic...
No, what I'm saying is that they told you that they constructed 12,000
propaganda.
I'm here as a
he's a United Party.
But you see, Richard, when we are doing analysis, you have given me a figure. And I'm telling you the distance between Accra and Shanghai.
And so road construction must be linear. Is that what you are saying?
The combination of all the roads that you have constructed, what you're telling me is that if you are going to put all the distances of roads you have constructed, it amounts to 12,000. I'm saying
these are different.
Yes. So I am only bringing it down to the level of the ordinary person, that if all the roads that were constructed were to be put together, it equates from Accra to Shanghai. That's what I'm doing. Okay. And am I not allowed to do that? Why must you have a problem with this?
We are just repeating the NDC rhetoric, and that is how come I'm there.
Oh, but this is unfair to me. I have come here early morning. I woke up and told my kids that I was going to represent the United Party. You are telling me that this is NDC. NDC, what does NDC? I started saying
the NDC rhetoric.
NDC, do they have rhetoric? They are in power. They are supposed to govern. We are in opposition. Remember, I've been in opposition longer than you. You just came out of power. So why are you saying that?
Let's make some progress. We'll be looking at our next conversation. I think we've exhausted the 24-hour economy as well. The big push to...
It's been a sham.
Yes, I think we've exhausted that. We'll be looking at the NPP preparations ahead of the elections on 31st. I'm sure it's one of the biggest things that will happen this month. I mean, beyond the campaign, I'm sure by now a lot of people are also looking at the social media conversations, the drama, and also the prophecies that have come with regards to that election. Now, this is the election that will provide one person who is going to lead the party and subsequently also getting into the 2028 presidential elections as well. And so we're going to be looking at that. Musa Danko will be joining us this morning. I'm not too sure if we've been able to connect with him, but once we're able to connect with him, let me just find out. Musa Danko, good morning, if you can hear me. Hello? Okay, as and when we're able to get him, we'll put him on for him to also share his, take on that with us this morning. All right, Musa Danko, good morning. Hello?
Your voice.
Can you unmute yourself, please? Hello?
I have unmuted.
Okay, I think we can hear you now. Good morning and thanks for joining us this morning here on the show.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Great. We've been talking about January, I mean, the biggest election for the NPP and all of that. We're gradually getting there. What are your indications looking like? Are we still where we are, or we're seeing some changes as we fast approach January 31st? Hello, are you there? Okay, I think we're having issues with your microphone. Can you please check it for us, and then let's see. Let me get back to studio. When I get him, I'll switch over and then have a conversation with him. But Richard, are we prepared enough
for the
31st?
Oh, fantastic!
Beyond the drama on.
Well, you see, the fact still remains that the New Patriotic Party is the largest and biggest opposition party in the country. We are evolving following the 2024 defeat, and the stalwarts of the leadership of the party had to find out the reason that led to this significant defeat. And some of the things that came out was to conduct an introspective research to find out what is wrong with the party, and then retrospection into our party as the party base. So if you recall, Professor Michael Okwei report came, and one of the key thematic thing that came out was that we didn't have enough time following the 2023 primaries, where we elected our flag bearer. The flag bearer didn't have enough time to actually embark on reconciliation because it was very heated with the other parties involved, and then garnered the required support in terms of unison vision to go and take on the NDC. At the time we elected our flag bearer, the NDC had enough time where John Mahama, the president, was moving, crisscrossing the country, selling his ideas. And so in the party's wisdom, we decided that I think it would be prudent if we bring the presidential primaries quite forward for the flag bearer to have enough time for reconciliation and all the other recommendations that prop up from the Okwei's report and other independent reports that we've conducted, so that we can work within the party, work on these things, and then have enough time to execute our message to the Ghanaian people to take over 2028. So far, it's been good. I always say that among the 5 candidates, each and every one, if you take them individually, is good enough to lead the New Patriotic Party. And whoever wins this primaries is capable to become the next president.
And taking on the NDC.
And yes, it becomes. Okay,
I'll be
let me finish. But among the 5, among the 5, I have my preference.
Okay.
And I think
which is
Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, the leading candidate. And I've been moving around the country with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm a core team member of the Bawumia campaign. From here, we are going to Krowo to campaign to the good people of Krowo constituencies and its environs. So for me, like I said, the 5, each and every one individually is good, but the one who stands, the one who is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, because of his competency, because he's the well-marketed, he's the formidable, he's been a running mate for 8 years, vice president for 8 years. He's the one every corner in this country knows. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Political consistency has paid in this Fourth Republic. NDC, they keep repeating their candidate and it bears fruit. MPP, when we presented Professor Addo and we lost, people have some thoughts that perhaps if we had repeated him in 1996, we could have won. But we brought a new candidate. That was candidate Akuffo in 1996. He didn't win. The party's wisdom was that, now let's repeat this particular candidate. Let's not fall into changing candidates every now and then. So we repeated Akuffo. He gave us victory in 2000. Same as President Akuffo Addo. When we presented him in 2008, he lost. But then because of the political consistency that has been proven to be successful, we repeated him on 2 or 3 occasions, and he gave us power. So that is why I said we did the same thing to reinvent the wheel. Bawumia must be repeated, and I believe that he will give MPP the required victory that we need in 2027.
Okay, all right. Honorable, I'll be coming to you shortly. Just do what you're doing for me. Let me see if I can engage Musa Danko for a couple of minutes. Musa, good morning again, if you can hear me now.
Good morning.
Okay.
All right. So
we need ensema ekoso our political highway. So Solomon Usu and yetene nkase odesa ensema no etuja ediamaya oche say 750 million dollars no NPP for never again. Ebramase samoche pene kokotiza ensemwe edi MI aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be any updates bia ya be dropping on so once ebetumi aka.